With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding.
This happened within the hour. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that bans trans women and girls from participating in female sports in federally funded schools.
The order, what it does is it prevents people who are biologically assigned male at birth from participating in women's or girls' sporting events.
But right now, the White House is celebrating this latest executive action. And it's just the latest of several actions targeting the trans community.
Christine Frizzell has more on how people are responding. And our team coverage, well, it continues as thousands of demonstrators gathering in cities across the country today to protest the Trump administration's early actions and project for 2025.
Now, Shelby Burrow was at the state capitol here in Charleston as hundreds worked to make their voices heard.
It's a nationwide protest against Project 2025 and President Trump's executive orders. People in attendance today say that they will keep speaking out until their voices are heard. In Charleston, Shelby Burrow, Eyewitness News.
And we have reached out to Governor Patrick Morrisey to get his response to today's protests outside the Capitol, but we haven't heard back just yet. And just to continue this team coverage, Gina has been working tirelessly to get updates for you on what these protests are looking like really across the nation. Gina, what are some of the things that you guys are seeing?
Yeah, Peyton, when you say across the country, it's really across the country. Those who have participated in today's protests use the hashtag 505001 movement, which means 50 capitals, 50 states, one day, and the Build the Resilience hashtag. And here's some of those posts that we saw. This is actually happening in Hawaii, all across the country. This one happening in Boston. They have a picture of this person who has a sign. She's protesting. This happening in Minnesota. This person showing the protesters. Looks like there's hundreds of people there right now. This happening in Arizona. It says here at the Arizona State Capitol, where protests are gathered for the nationwide 505001 protest against the Trump administration policies. And then this person, this is also happening in Connecticut. So again, all of this happening across the country, and we will continue to follow this as we go forward.
Both of you refused to accept responsibility throughout the trial and still here today, which makes my job a lot easier. And instead of apologizing today, because you never have said you're sorry, but what you did do was put on one of the most reprehensible, narcissistic defenses that I have ever seen in my years of trial work. And may God have mercy on your souls, because this court will not. Please stand.
Blistering words from Judge Mary Claire Akers as Jeannie Whitefeather and Donald Lance were sentenced to decades in prison today, answering to their historic convictions last month of human trafficking and forced labor.
Now, this was a case that stemmed from the October 2023 discovery of two teens locked in a shed in Sissonville and revealed years of abuse and neglect of 4 of their adopted black children. Whitefeather was sentenced to a maximum of 215 years for human trafficking, forced child labor, civil rights violations, and child abuse and neglect. Her husband, Lance, was sentenced to 160 years max for similar charges. He was found not guilty on the civil rights violations and had fewer child abuse charges than Whitefeather. This was the first time in state history that human trafficking charges were ever brought on the state level.
Prosecutors were able to prove to a jury that Whitefeather and Lance brought 5 adopted black children to Sissonville in May of 2023 from Washington State, made them do manual labor, and neglected and abused them with physical punishment and a lack of basic necessities. This all while receiving adoption payments from the state of Minnesota. Kanawha County prosecutors holding a press conference this afternoon after securing the max sentence they were seeking.
I am so grateful for the opportunity to work with the children in this case. They are so wonderful, so smart, so funny. They are going to do amazing things in this world, and I'm so grateful to be a part of getting some semblance of justice for them after they...
Whitefeather and Lance have also been ordered to pay $280,000 each in restitution to the children.
And when Judge Mary Claire Akers handed down the sentence, it came with scathing remarks as she blasted Whitefeather and Lance for their treatment of the children and their inability to take responsibility.
Yes, and Anna Saunders, she joins us live now. And Anna, I mean, you were in that courtroom. What was it like when she handed down that sentence?
Well, Peyton, Gina, scathing is the right word for it. And it wasn't just Judge Akers who made her feelings known. The children victims in this case were there and faced Whitefeather and Lance. Once again, the oldest teen girl looked at Whitefeather and said, "I want you to know that you are a monster." Now, both Whitefeather and Lance brought forward motions for new trials today. Those were denied. Whitefeather's attorney Mark Plants did indicate today that they will be appealing their convictions. Live in the studio, Anna Saunders, Eyewitness News.
Not get any more promises from this mayor because he's already cut stuff that we already said that we wanted and that has already been approved by this board.
So what you're asking us to do is to approve a budget because of all of the things that you have just said, but you can't tell us what they are or how much they cost.
And that was from last night's budget meeting in Huntington. During the meeting, many people said they won't put their trust into the city's mayor, Patrick Farrell, until his proposed budget serves the community. Now the question is, does it? Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. We're following the development from last night's meeting with Huntington City Council working early into the morning. Anna Saunders is live in the studio with the fallout of that meeting. And Anna, what can you tell us?
Well, Gina, after 5 hours of debate and voting, the Huntington City Council did pass a slightly amended budget early this morning, just before 1 a.m.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here at 5. A lot of excitement as it is yet another day of bike competition in the streets of Charleston, which is exactly why we got team coverage for you. Bailey getting a one-on-one with an Olympic athlete. Gina focusing on the inspiration behind the kids, and we're going to hear from them in just a few moments. But first, I want to send things right over to Mark Martin with a recap on today's distance competition. Mark, there's a lot of races happening this week. Can you walk us through the details of what Wednesday's competition entails for these professional athletes?
Yeah, sure will, Peyton. I'll tell you what, it's hard to believe, but we're already at day 3 here of this wonderful event in Charleston. And let's take you out to this great event. And we have more team coverage. Eyewitness News anchor Gina Marini joining us now here on the streets of the capital city. Good evening, Gina.
Hi, Mark. It is absolutely gorgeous. A little windy, but it's definitely a much different picture from earlier today. Telling me about that. You're going to hear later tonight at 6 o'clock about the NICA mountain biking program he and a couple of his teammates are involved in. But I'm going to send things over to our Bailey Tucker. She has actually spoke with one of the top athletes today. And Bailey, what can you tell us about Kristen Faulkner?
That's right, Gina. Here in the capital city, racing on these roads, we have a decorated Olympic athlete, but this isn't her first time here in Charleston. She previously raced here before going to the Olympics. Faulkner competed in the time trials today, coming in 2nd place, but she'll be racing in the road race later this week, so make sure you tune into that. Reporting live from Canal Boulevard, Bailey Tucker, Eyewitness News.
Bailey.
Eyewitness News starts right now with breaking news.
I know I've personally been in touch with people around West Virginia and across the country in an effort to try to make sure if there's anything humanly we could do to save the miner's life, we want to do it. We take care of our own in West Virginia.
You heard Governor Patrick Morrisey right there giving an update on the active search for a missing miner in Nicholas County. This as the state holds on to just hope for a miracle that he's found alive.
Now, that miner has not been seen since around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. He was the foreman of the crew underground at the Rolling Thunder mine near the town of Drennan, which is just west of Summersville.
It's been roughly 52 hours since the search started, and it's a slow and a painful process. Dive teams, they've been alternating in shifts as crews work to pump water from the mine.
Rolling Thunder is owned by Alpha Metallurgical Resources, and we've tried numerous times to get a comment from the company on the ongoing search, but so far they've said nothing.
Rolling Thunder is one of 11 underground mines in the state operated by Alpha, which also operates 4 surface mines in West Virginia. An engineering consulting firm said in a February report that the area had been, quote, extensively explored by previous mine owners. That report, it also said coal seam ran below the drainage of 20 Mile Creek, but said there were no significant water concerns about digging for more coal in the already extensively mined property. Now, the main focus continues to be getting the flood water out of that mine.
Anna Saunders has the latest for us on those ongoing efforts. Anna?
Well, all day we've just been seeing truck after truck come up this hill carrying heavy machinery, carrying water pumps. We've been told that every resource the state can get, they're making it available to Nicholas County to assist in this search.
Anna, thank you. And the heartbreaking search for the missing miner coming on the heels of the 4th West Virginia miner to die on the job this year.
That's right, Gina. In fact, on Thursday, Joey Mitchell Jr. was killed. It happened at the Matiki mine in the Mount Storm area of Tucker County. That's where he worked as a scoop operator. He was just 25 years old and a 2020 graduate of Preston High School. He will be laid to rest on Wednesday in Morgantown.
And United Miner Workers of America President Brian Sanson reacting to the ongoing efforts to find that miner at the Rolling Thunder coal mine in Nicholas County, saying, quote, "I've ordered our safety experts to the Rolling Thunder mine in Nicholas County to provide professional assistance to the teams working to find the missing miner."
Sanson going on to say, quote, "The hearts and the prayers of the entire United Mine Workers of America family go out to these miners and their families. Even though the workers at these 2 mines are not members of the UMWA, that doesn't matter at the time like this. We are all coal miners and we all care about the safety and the health of each other."
And we'll keep you updated on the search for the missing miner, both on air and online. Follow us on our digital platforms for the latest developments as they happen.